Hello, this is the third time I'm recording this video, so for the sake of me and you, I hope this actually works because this is the last time I will be recording this ever. If this doesn't work, then the itinerary for this course will be changing, probably. So, today I'm going to talk to you about why Dynamo changed the game with Revit 2022. Now, the question you might be asking yourself is, why did this happen? And more precisely, how does this affect me? So let me show you this with a specific example. By the way, my name is Luisa Santamaria. I'm an architect and BIM consultant based in Spain. Pleased to meet you if this is the first video you watch from Ballbrain. So let's get right to the example. Before we begin, we have to open Dynamo. I have a new Dynamo opened. I'm not going to save it, I'm going to open it again for the sake of you watching how I do a new Dynamo. First, let's establish what I want to do or what I'm going to head towards. What I will normally do when I'm going to do a Dynamo, it doesn't matter how simple it is, I normally write down my recipe or my steps. So what I want to do in this specific example is to introduce the coordinates of the columns right here into the parameter comments or comentarios if you have this in Spanish. Maybe you do. So what I'm going to do is to get all the columns. This is the first step. And where I'm heading is to set the information. Store it in the columns. What information? Location. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the information in the columns. Now, in order to do this, we want to first ask the columns, what is your location? So hopefully I will get some points out of this. And then I want to introduce this point into the comments parameter. This is where I'm headed, okay? This is step 1, this is step 2, this would be step 3, this would be step whatever, because I don't know if here there are many steps left. But I would suggest that you do this every time you want to do a new Dynamo. And on the meanwhile, I will be including here maybe 2022 and Dynamo 2022 information so that you get this info. Okay, this is a secondary task for me. Okay, let's get straight to the exercise. And in the meanwhile, I will be showing you how this Dynamo for 2022 works. So I have it open right here. And first, I'm going to introduce the result I will be expecting, which will be to set the parameter by its name. Now, something really useful in Revit 2020, Revit 2022 is this new feature, which is in settings, experimental, and you have to have activated Dynamo Autocomplete node. In this case, if you have this activated and you press Alt, you will get a suggestion. For instance, here, if I press Alt while I press the input parameter name, you get the suggestion string. This is extremely useful for learning or for people who just discovered Dynamo for the first time. Okay, the elements I'm going to try to get are the columns. So I will be getting these columns by category, all elements of category. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so why didn't C press Alt here so that C would get an autocomplete? It doesn't work the other way around, okay? You can ask the input for suggestions, but not the output. Bad luck with Dynamo here. If you're finding the information provided interesting, please do remember to subscribe to this channel. It's free, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that you are finding this information interesting. More! I know you want more. Okay, so we have the category, and in Spanish the structural columns are called pilares estructurales, and we are getting all the elements of category pilares estructurales right here. Right, if we go back to our schema, we want to ask them what their location is. So I will write here get location. Okay, and we are getting an example, a node element.get location, and here we have the points. I can switch from geometry to nodes with this option right here on the top. This is nothing new. This comes with almost every Dynamo version. But if you are new to Dynamo, I thought you would like to know. Okay, I already have the information here, the point information. This information I want to set to the parameter comments right here. And the elements I want to set this information to would be my columns here. Now, if I do this right now, I get a mistake which tells me this is not valid, this is not a valid information because I was expecting something else. It is very important to know which information is stored in every parameter. For instance, the comments parameter expects a string. So this is an object, this is a point. This is unacceptable for the parameter comments. So I should get a string. I'm writing to string, and the first option I get is string from object. Okay? So if I transform this list of points into a string, I already have the result I expected right here. The information is already stored in the comments parameter. Now, if we went back to our first, to what we wanted to do, we will have to include here a new step, which will be, this is information, okay, this is a point. So we have to change it to string in order to store this information. So we have the fourth and the fifth step. If you have followed me so far, please leave me a comment down below in the commentary section with a question mark or an exclamation mark. If you found this really easy, leave me an exclamation mark. If this was difficult for you, please do leave a question mark on the commentary section. Okay, but this was not just about showing you Revit 2022 and Dynamo in action. I'm going to show you how to find out what's new. So there's this web page which is called Dynamo for Revit Nodes. And in this case, I'm showing you the version from January, the 2nd of January 2021, which is when the new version came out. And here you have a list of everything that was new. Now, from this selection, I want to show you some specific examples, which I think are the most useful, which are dimension nodes. Why? Because before you have to go straight to the Python or to programming in order to change or set the dimensions, and now you can do this in your Revit, in your Dynamo. Some of the most interesting features in dimension are this dimension by references and dimension by edges, dimension by faces, so that you can actually get dimension by faces, by edges, so that you can actually draw the dimensions in your model. And other interesting new features are the group options, okay, the group nodes here. Why? Because before, if you wanted to work with groups from Dynamo Revit, you couldn't, or you have to go to the Python node and start writing down code. And right now you don't need it. You have these two very interesting new nodes, which are group by elements and also ungroup. You also have group and group elements. With these two, you can select the elements from the groups and then regroup them again, which I think is really useful. Some other interesting features, well, this is like you will only have to write group by elements, and then you also have ungroup right here, elements right here. Great. Other interesting features included some of the selection nodes are also interesting. I especially like these rooms by status and element by ID. Rooms by status directly gives you the rooms in the model, but with an indication, an interesting indication, which is, are they placed, unplaced, not enclosed, or redundant? Before, you didn't get this information and you actually had to filter the rooms by area or resort to other methods, but right now you have this one, which is really useful, and also this other one, which is element by ID. Thank you for including this, because this will be really useful when you have to select the elements by ID, for instance, when you are working with warnings, or when you are taking the information out of Revit and then reintroducing this information. This one is really, really useful. Thank you so much, Revit, for including this. I also think that they have included new warning nodes, which are useful. For instance, all warnings of types. All warnings of type is really useful if you want to audit your model. Okay, so you have it here, all warnings of type. I've got these warnings in Spanish. For instance, elements are joined but do not intersect. I have it right here, and you have the warnings, all the warnings you have of that type. If you want to check out more Dynamo examples, you can definitely do so by downloading them right here, and also you can either go and check our full Dynamo course or continue to the next video. See you on the next one. Bye bye.